Awesome. So, as you know, the past 7 months I've been in the Congo, serving my mission for the church and serving the Lord. But because of the coronavirus, we've all been evacuated right now, so we're at home for the moment. I'm still a missionary, but I'm still waiting to figure out what's gonna happen next. Where I'm gonna get assigned, if I'm going back to the Congo, or hopefully I will. So we'll see what happens soon. But while I'm on this little pause, I thought I'd take this time just to kind of talk a little bit about what I experienced in Congo and some of the things that I saw and what happened. So the Congo, the part that I was in, most of my mission, was close to the center of the city. So there was a lot of people and a lot of noise. There was one main road that kind of went through the area that we were in, where by our apartment, and that was it. All the other roads were dirt and sand roads. That was basically our area that we proselyted in every day. It was dirt and sand, and it was really hot every day, but it was super awesome. The trees and the wildlife there were super cool. There's so much. The people and everything is just so densely packed in together. So you walk by one area, you go in someone's house, and you find a bunch of people that live there, and you just teach them all. And most everyone's accepting. Most everyone will listen to at least we'll listen to what we have to say. So we teach a lot, and we did a lot of walking. So I was there for 7 months, and I was in one area the whole time. And just before we got evacuated, I moved to my second area, which was out in the boonies, out in the middle, not quite the middle of nowhere, but it was more further out on the edges of the city. So things were more scarce there. We were way far away from the store, and it was harder to get things. And there were no streets. There were no streets or addresses for anybody. But that's basically how it was. We took taxis if we wanted to go anywhere far, and they'd pack a lot of people in taxis, and they'd also pack a lot of people in buses. So they'd have like 15 passenger buses or 10 passenger buses, and they pack like 15 or 20 people inside of them. And they make stops every now and then, and they're always trying to pack more people in there when you're already cramped. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
How did you get to your appointments?
So for our appointments, we walked 100% of the time. We walked every appointment. We didn't have a car. But people did have these things. We weren't allowed to use them. They were banned for the missionaries, but they have these things called moto taxis. So they'd have someone would have a motorbike or like a moped, and you could pay them and they'd take you somewhere. But I think something happened and they banned them for the missionaries. But for us, we just walked to all of our appointments, in our area. A lot of walking.
What things did you get from Africa?
So I was able to get a lot of things. This is one of them. This hippo. So they have a wood market that we went to, which basically there was maybe 15, 20 people there that all they do is they make things out of wood. So I was able to get some cool things. This hippo, they have a lot, not a ton in the Congo, but there's a good amount in the mission, because the mission is Gabon and Cameroon too. But he made this completely out of wood, and this cool tie, and a lot of some things like that. So this fabric that they use, it's called pine. They make everything out of it. I got scripture cases and different things made out of it. But they wear it. They make clothes out of it. They have they'll just get one piece of fabric and then they'll use that as like a pouch, or what would you call it? Like a brace for their baby. They'd put their baby on their back and wrap them in that. And that was their holster for the baby, and they'd walk. There were a lot of babies. And they'd use this to make a lot of things. So this is like normal fabric, normal clothes that you would see in Africa, people wearing. So
Were your companions from Africa?
so my first companion was from the DRC, which is right across the river from where I was in Brazzaville. But my second companion was from Arizona, or he was from Arkansas. And we had in the mission it was probably half and half, Americans and then Africans. And then my third companion was from Nigeria. So those are the companions that I had while out in the field.
What is something hard and something you learned from your mission?
Something hard, probably the hardest thing was learning the language. And something I learned was how to study diligently and rely on the Lord from the hardest thing, which was learning the language. Je sais que Dieu et Jésus-Christ vous aiment. Je sais que l'Église de Jésus-Christ des Saints des derniers jours et le royaume de Dieu sur la terre aujourd'hui. Pendant ma mission, j'étais crevé souvent à la fin de la journée, mais chaque matin, j'ai reçu la force. J'ai reçu la force de continuer à prêcher. Je sais que c'était le Seigneur qui m'a donné ça. Je sais que Joseph Smith était un vrai prophète de Dieu. Je sais que il était choisi depuis la fondation du monde d'être le prophète de rétablissement. Il a rétabli toute la vérité. Il a traduit le livre de Mormon. Et je sais que le livre de Mormon est un autre témoignage de Jésus-Christ qui témoigne de sa vie, sa divinité, son ministère aussi. C'est le plus correct livre que tous les autres. Et je sais que si vous lisez le livre de Mormon et si vous priez pour un témoignage comme tous les autres dans les Écritures, si vous priez pour ça, Dieu vous donnera votre réponse et Dieu vous donnera votre témoignage si vous persévérez avec la foi. Et je sais que c'est tout les choses qui sont importantes, que Jésus-Christ est là toujours pour vous, qu'il connaît comment il peut vous aider le meilleur. Et si vous changez votre vie vers lui, et si vous le demandez pour aide, il vous aidera à travers tout. En rien, nous ne pouvons pas surmonter avec Jésus-Christ. Et je sais que toutes ces choses sont vraies. En nom de Jésus-Christ, Amen.